This is Brant Fowler, and you are listening to Comic Related's NYCC 2014 tapes. And this time around, it's the incomparable David Petersen, creator of Mouse Guard, as Stephen talks to him about the upcoming new Mouse Guard title and much more. So without further ado, here's Stephen with David Petersen.
So, you've got the new Mouse Guard book coming out?
Yeah, in November. Baldwin the Brave and Other Tales, collection of the 4 most recent Free Comic Book Day stories, plus 2 new stories kind of in that same vein.
I got the recent one I got, which I really enjoyed, was the Black Axe. Is it the Black Axe?
Yeah.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that.
Thank you.
What else is coming up in Mouse Guard?
We've got another round of Legends of the Guard is going to come up. This is volume 3. That's where I have guest artists come in and tell the tall tales and legends of the Mouse Guard world. We've got Mark Buckingham and Dustin Nguyen and Becky Cloonan has agreed to do a story, Ramon Perez, and then people that you've probably never even heard of, like Hannah Christensen or Nicole Gustafson. They're not known as being comics people, but they're really talented illustrators, and I always like getting people into Legends books who the fan base isn't expecting. Nobody's heard of. I almost like to feel like I helped you discover them.
Yeah. What I found with the Mouse Guard books is, like you said, you can do absolutely anything.
Sure.
And I don't know, will you want to move away from that kind of period that you're in now to kind of future things?
No.
Or are you just going to stay in that period?
No, I want to keep it medievally. I mean, when you think about how much I've done in terms of, time, there was fall and winter of 1149, so there, or 1152, so that's half of a year I covered there. And then the Black Axe takes place over the course of about a year or so in 1115 to 1116. So in the grand total, I've told about a year and a half of history. There's a lot more there to do, and I just feel more comfortable there. I think when you start advancing the technology, you run into the potential for other story problems. You're making a story complex that doesn't need to be. Well, at least for Mouse Guard. I don't think it needs to be more complex than what it is, other than just more character development and exploring more problems of a primitive time, where there aren't necessarily technological solutions of any kind, even like siege machines or things like that. You don't want to, I don't want to, or gunpowder. I don't want to go too far that way, because I want them to have to solve problems with very little resources.
Yeah, and with this setting as well, you've got like the woods and everything in the backdrop, and they can use them as resources as well.
Sure, oh yeah, absolutely.
But I've always had a vision of seeing Mouse Guard in the Renaissance period.
Oh, that could be cool. That could be cool. Well, I do a little bit of cherry pick. Mouse Guard isn't historically accurate. I cherry pick around different architectural styles that I like, and I've had the mice with spy glasses and things like that, and that technology didn't exist in the medieval period. Grinding lenses wasn't a thing then. Medieval people did some things with glass, but not anywhere near as much as what I have. I have them making almost Gothic style stained glass works in Mouse Guard. So I'm doing kind of a best of in terms of aesthetics from lots of different time periods. So there's some Renaissance stuff thrown in there from time to time, but
that's probably where I get it from, because I read it. It's just like, I love the monks. I just love when you draw them, just in their little robes. I don't know, it sounds cheesy, but I just love it, just how you came up with this whole world where you can just dress mice up in just different outfits. Yeah. It's just great. What can you say about what's coming up with particular characters?
Well, because the next book is the short story collection. There's nothing like a specific character, and then Legends is whatever the other people come up with. We're only starting to get the pitches coming in, but after a while I'm going to go back and do a story called The Weasel War of 1149, which is a historical event that's been kind of promised in the books. It's been mentioned as a big event. But that'll be the classic characters that were in the first couple books: Saxon and Kenzie and Liam, and even Rand, who only makes brief appearances in the other books. Potentially every character who's ever been alive in one of my Mouse Guard books has a potential of showing up in the Weasel War, which is kind of daunting because I want to make sure that I'm developing some of the newer characters a bit more than I already have, but I also want to really give fans of Saxon, fans of Kenzie, fans of Rand and Liam and all those characters their time. I want them to get developed too. So it's going to be a big thing. I don't know. It's going to be hard to do. But that's kind of where I'm going. That'll show Liam getting inducted into the Mouse Guard, that series.
But I can already picture it now in my head.
Now I have to match that. I have to live up to what you've just imagined.
Well, I'm just imagining like an open battlefield with weasels, or I can see one weasel now where he's got one eye and this really cool helmet. I don't know why, and it covers his eye up. Like the plate covers his eye up.
The bad eye.
The bad eye.
Yeah.
And it's like there's no need for that because it's bad anyway. But
maybe that's an open wound still.
Yeah.
Just got to protect it. Make sure he doesn't get infection.
That's what I think is great about the series. It's just the fans like myself can just imagine.
Well, we did a role-playing game. Luke Crane and I did a Mouse Guard role-playing game. And that was part of it because we knew that the fans wanted to imagine a lot more than I've ever drawn.
Yeah.
And then that way you and your friends get to completely play those adventures out as much as you want. Totally totally creator sanctioned.
Yeah, it's just great.
Yeah.
That's about it from me.
All right, well, cool.
And that was Agent Stephen Walker speaking with David Petersen at New York Comic Con 2014. Thanks for listening, and thank you, Stephen and David, for the interview. We will be back with you for more comic-related NYCC 2014 tapes, as we have several more interviews to go. So until next time, of course, check out comicrelated.com for even more updates on your daily comic book needs. And remember, if it's comic related, you'll find it here. Until next time, bye everybody.